The galaxy was loud with war, trade, and ambition. Thousands of star systems burned with conflict. Fleets moved every day. Planets rose and fell. Empires fought for power without rest. But one small blue world remained untouched. Earth. It sat in a quiet corner of the galaxy, weak and divided, filled with strange creatures called humans. They fought among themselves. They argued over land, beliefs, and history. Their technology was slow. Their ships could barely leave their own star system. And yet, no alien empire ever attacked them. This was not kindness. This was not mercy. It was protection. Invisible defense platforms surrounded Earth's system. They were ancient, dark, and silent. No lights, no signals, no flags. They waited beyond normal sensors, hidden inside empty space. Whenever an alien scout came too close, it vanished. No explosion, no warning, no survivors. Across the galaxy, captains learned a rule they never questioned: never approach Earth. Commander Reth of the Varkan fleet had heard the rule many times. He had ignored many rules before. That was why he had risen so fast in the ranks. Reth stood on the bridge of his warship, staring at a glowing star map. One small system was marked in black, not red, not green. Black meant forbidden. Why is this system locked? Reth asked calmly. His navigation officer froze. Sir, that is so. Earth system. Reth narrowed his eyes. Remove the lock. The officer hesitated. Sir, High Command orders. I am High Command in this sector, Reth replied. His voice was quiet, but sharp. The lock disappeared. Instantly, warning symbols filled the screen. Old symbols. Ancient code. Code older than Reth's species. Reth leaned forward. Zoom in. The map revealed strange objects hidden around the system. Massive structures without engines. Without weapons, at least none visible. What are those? Reth asked. No record, sir, the officer whispered. They are not listed in any database. Reth felt something rare rise in his chest. Fear. Before he could speak again, alarm screamed. Not attack alarms. Presence alarms. Something had noticed them. A cold voice echoed through the bridge, speaking perfect Varkan language. Turn back. Reth stood tall. Identify yourself. There was a pause. Long, heavy. Then the voice replied, This system is under protection. By whom? Reth demanded. Another pause. By those who survived humanity. The bridge fell silent. Reth felt his breath slow. Humanity? You mean the species on that planet? They can barely reach their moon. That is correct. Then why protect them? Reth asked. This time, the voice answered immediately. Because if they're destroyed too early, the galaxy will not survive later. Before Reth could respond, the connection ended. The ancient structures vanished from sensors, as if they had never existed. The alarm stopped. Earth remained quiet. Reth ordered his ship to retreat. He did not need to say why. Every officer on the bridge had seen enough. Hours later, Reth sat alone in his chamber, reviewing classified archives. He broke encryption laws. He broke command rules. He did not care. He searched one word. Earth. What he found chilled him. Old reports. Very old. From species long extinct. Humans were labeled as adaptive predators. Not the strongest. Not the fastest. But dangerous in one special way. They learned through pain. Every war made them smarter. Every loss made them angrier. Every defeat made them united. Eventually, one report showed simulations. In most futures, humans destroyed themselves. But in a few rare outcomes, they reached the stars. In those futures, the galaxy burned. Reth scrolled further until he found the final file. It had only one sentence. Earth must be protected until humanity chooses what it will become. Reth leaned back slowly. Outside his ship, the galaxy continued its endless wars. And far away, on a small blue planet, humans looked at the stars with wonder, unaware that unseen guardians stood watch, not to save them, but to save everyone else. Commander Reth could not sleep. The words from the ancient archive haunted him. Earth must be protected until humanity chooses what it will become. What did it mean? Why would an entire galaxy with thousands of advanced species bend rules just for humans? He had to know. The next day, he requested an audience with the High Council of the Galaxy, a group of the oldest and most powerful beings in existence. They ruled not by force, but by fear and wisdom. Even their whispers could topple empires. Reth entered the council chamber. Towers of glowing energy floated above the floor. The council members sat in silence, observing him. They did not greet him, did not even blink. Commander Reth, a tall, shadow-like being said, its voice deep and trembling, "You have questions about Earth." Reth swallowed. "Yes, I want to understand. Why is this world protected? Why is it forbidden?" The council shifted. A murmur ran through them. It sounded like wine through metal. One elder, older than time itself, finally spoke. Its voice was soft, almost sorrowful. "Earth is dangerous. Not now, but in potential. Your people see them as weak, small, primitive, but we know their truth." Reth's brow furrowed. "Their truth?" "Yes," said another member, its form flickering like fire. "Humans adapt faster than any species we have seen. They are violent, yes, but creative beyond reason. When united, they can surpass anything. The galaxy fears what they may become." Reth paused. He had fought against hundreds of species, seen unimaginable power, and yet the council seemed afraid of a single species. "Afraid?" he asked. "They can barely defend themselves." The oldest member's glow dimmed. "Afraid? No, Commander. Terrified. If humans ever unite, they will not just defend themselves. They will remake the galaxy. They will destroy what we have built." Reth took a step back. "You mean they could wipe out entire empires?" The council nodded. One being leaned forward, its energy stretching across the chamber like a river. "We have seen it in simulations. Futures where humans reach the stars without guidance. Entire systems burn. Empires fall. Stars die." Reth's chest tightened. "Then, protecting them isn't kindness. It's containment." "Containment is the wrong word," the elder replied. "We did not destroy them. We chose to watch, to guard, to wait, to give them time to grow, time to become what they are meant to be." "Time for what?" Reth asked. The council members exchanged uneasy glances. Finally, the elder said, "Time to learn to survive, to choose. Humans are unique. Their potential is terrifying. And we are not ready for what comes after." Reth's mind spun. He had always believed his duty was simple. Enforce rules, protect his people, expand territory. But now, Earth, a fragile, tiny planet, held a secret that made the galaxy tremble. What happens if they wake too soon? Reth asked, almost whispering. One council member leaned closer. Its form flickered, revealing something Reth had never seen before. Fear. Genuine fear. Then, it said slowly, "The galaxy may not survive, and we may have to fight them or die trying." Reth swallowed hard. He could feel the weight of the galaxy pressing down on him. A species so small, so weak, yet capable of ultimate power. And no one, not even the council, could control them. He left the chamber in silence. Outside, stars moved in their eternal patterns. But in his mind, Earth burned bright with potential, a flicker of something dangerous, unstoppable. That night, Reth watched the planet through a hidden sensor. Humans walked, fought, invented, dreamed. They laughed. They cried. They argued. They grew stronger without knowing it, and the galaxy held its breath. Commander Reth could not stop thinking about Earth. Every report, every archive, every hidden file screamed the same warning. Humans are unpredictable, dangerous, extraordinary. He returned to his ship, not to patrol, but to study. Ancient alien archives were at his disposal. Some records were older than the galaxy itself. They were filled with simulations, histories, and observations of species long extinct. And among them, Earth was different. Humans were not merely a species. They were an experiment. The archives described them in cold, clinical terms. Slow to develop, fragile, and violent. But there was one anomaly. Every time humans were pushed to the edge, when war, famine, or disaster struck, they grew stronger, not just physically. Their minds adapted. They invented new tools, new ways to survive. Every failure made them cleverer. Every attack made them faster. Ref leaned back in his chair. He had never seen a species like this. Even his own kind, the Varkun, learned over generations. Humans learned within days. He opened another file, the Human Conflict Archive. Images flashed across his screen. Cities burned, but new structures rose. Battles were lost, but survivors rebuilt with weapons stronger than before. Ships exploded, yet within weeks humans launched new ones. It was terrifying and impressive. Why are they like this? Ref whispered to himself. Why are they so unstoppable? An alert blinked. A simulation of human war strategies had begun on its own. Ref watched in silence as humans defeated stronger, faster enemies using ingenuity. They created traps, weapons, and tactics no one had thought of. They improvised. They evolved. The data revealed the cruel truth. The galaxy did not guard Earth out of care. They did it to study, to observe a species that could one day reshape everything. And that potential was terrifying. In one record, a council elder's note read, "If humans ever unite with full knowledge of the stars, no empire will survive. They are the wildfire of the galaxy." Reth realized the weight of this. Earth was not merely a planet. It was a ticking bomb, a species so small, so young, yet capable of unimaginable power. And the galaxy was blind to the danger, because it hoped humans would fail. But humans were not failing. A human signal appeared on the archives, a deep space broadcast sent from a human experiment station. It was simple, unrefined, almost primitive, yet it carried a message beyond comprehension. Reth analyzed the signal. It contained patterns, calculations, and a design for faster-than-light travel. Humans were reaching beyond their system. They were learning from their failures, and they were not asking permission. The realization struck him like a physical blow. The galaxy's greatest fear was waking. And now, without knowing it, humans had begun to awaken. Reth felt a strange pride mixed with dread. This species was small, fragile, even primitive, but had something no other species had. Unpredictable brilliance. He looked at Earth through his ship's long-range sensors. Cities glowed with lights. Ships rose from ports. Machines hummed. Humans moved, unaware of the invisible guardians surrounding them. The archives whispered a chilling warning. Humans were being tested. Every threat, every attack, every hardship was part of a cosmic experiment. And the results were exceeding expectations. Reth's hand hovered over console. A decision loomed. He could report to the council, but would they believe him? Could he even warn them? No. The council feared humans too much. They had hoped the species would remain weak. But humans were learning, growing, evolving, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. For the first time, Reth felt a thrill. Humans were not merely surviving. They were rising in ways the galaxy could not anticipate. Every small victory, every invention, every survival was a step towards something greater, something unstoppable. And the most terrifying part? They did not even know the scale of their own potential. Commander Reth leaned back, staring at the blue planet. The archives had predicted it. The council had feared it. And now, the experiment was entering a dangerous phase. Earth was no longer just a planet. Earth was a threat waiting to awaken. Commander Reth had warned the council, but warnings were often ignored. Earth was still forbidden, yet curiosity and greed had a way of breaking rules. A rogue alien empire, the Zephyr, moved silently through the outer systems. Their fleets were fast, powerful, and ruthless. They had heard rumors of Earth's hidden treasures, ancient resources, unknown technologies, and decided to strike. They did not know humans were being watched. They did not know the galaxy's protectors existed. Reth observed the fleet from a distance. Zephyr ships entered the solar system like predators. Reth's sensors detected unusual energy signatures, alien weapons charging, fleets positioning. Humans were completely unaware. "They will fail," Reth muttered. But deep inside, he feared they might not. Back on Earth, Humans were busy as usual. Satellites orbited silently. Scientists worked late nights. Rockets were tested. And in cities, people lived ordinary lives, completely oblivious to the approaching danger. The first Cypher ships appeared near the asteroid belt. Their scanners picked up faint signals, alien energy fields, and raw human activity. They expected little resistance. Instead, they were met with confusion. Human satellites suddenly blinked on in unusual patterns, confusing the Cypher sensors. Rockets fired automated countermeasures. Communication arrays transmitted scrambled frequencies. The rogue empire could not understand what was happening. Their systems failed, one by one. Reth watched in shock. Humans, without knowledge of the alien fleet, were adapting instantly. They are improvising, Reth whispered. They are learning faster than simulations predicted. Cypher commanders panicked. Ships collided. Missiles exploded mid-flight. Humans used primitive Earth weapons, old satellites, drones, even chemical reactions, to destroy alien scouts. The results were devastating. Within hours, a third of the Cypher fleet was crippled. Their advanced technology, built over centuries, failed against humans' chaotic brilliance. Reth could not believe it. He had seen species die with far more potential. He had seen civilizations collapse in months. But humans adapted like water flowing through cracks in stone, relentless, unpredictable, unstoppable. The Cypher sent a final message through the Galactic network. They are not ready, but they are unstoppable. Humans, still unaware of the galaxy watching them, continue to fight with courage and ingenuity. They work together in small, chaotic teams. Every failure led to new solutions. Every attack revealed a new tactic. Reth realized something that sent shivers down his spine. Humans did not just survive, they improved. Every strike against them only made them stronger. Every loss taught them. Every injury fueled their determination. The rogue empire had broken the sacred rule. They had tested Earth's defenses. And now they were paying the price. From his vantage point, Reth saw the humans sending signals into space, calls for help, instructions, warnings. They were unaware that their signals were being intercepted by ancient guardians and even the Council. But those signals carried a message. Humans were awake. They were learning. They were not victims. As the Cypher ships retreated, heavily damaged, Reth felt both fear and pride. The Council's warnings were true. Humans were dangerous. But he understood now why Earth had been protected. Not to save the humans. Not to nurture them. To give them time to grow. Humans had broken the first test. The galaxy's greatest fear was no longer a distant theory. It was unfolding in real time. Reth sent a secret report to the Council. Earth had survived. Humans were alive. Humans had fought back. Humans had won without knowing the true scale of their power. The Council's response was muted. Fear ran deeper than anger. They could not interfere. They could only watch. And far below, on a small blue planet, humans returned to their lives. Some celebrated victories. Some mourned losses. But all were unaware that they had just defied a rogue empire, outsmarted centuries of alien technology, and proven why the galaxy had been watching them all along. Commander Reth looked at the stars, a heavy thought settling in his mind. The humans are awake, and the galaxy may never recover from what comes next. The morning sun rose over Earth, unaware of the silent war that had just passed above it. Cities buzzed with ordinary life. Children played, workers rushed, leaders debated. Humans were busy with their daily struggles, unaware that the universe had just tested them, and they had passed. But something had changed. Reports from global observatories showed strange energy spikes. Satellites recorded anomalies. Unexplained signals traveled across space, subtle yet deliberate. Humans did not yet know it, but they had entered a new era. Commander Reth observed quietly from his hidden station. For months, he had studied them. Now, he saw the first signs of unity. Earth's nations, after decades of petty disputes, paused. Old rivalries faded as scientists, engineers, and military leaders shared information, strategies, and discoveries. The alien attack, though brief, had forced humans to act together. And when they did, they excelled. On the ground, a team of engineers solved problems that had baffled scientists for decades. They repaired satellites, launched automated defense systems, and built experimental spacecraft using resources no one had thought possible. Within weeks, humanity's technological level had jumped far beyond expectations. Ref watched in awe. These humans did not just adapt, they improved. Every mistake became a lesson. Every failure was a stepping stone. Every small victory sparked creativity and courage. He had seen empires fall, species die, worlds destroyed. But he had never seen potential like this. Humans were small, fragile, chaotic, yet unstoppable in their resilience and ingenuity. For the first time, humans made contact with space beyond their own system. A simple probe, sent from an orbital lab, carried signals that were unmistakably intelligent. It reached an alien outpost far beyond Earth, one that had quietly observed them for centuries. The alien monitors flickered. Observers gasped. Patterns formed in ways even advanced alien minds could not fully understand. Humanity was learning faster than expected. Meanwhile, back on Earth, governments sent something new. Messages between nations, once secretive, were shared openly. Scientists collaborated across borders. Military programs synchronized for joint defense. Old fears and divisions melted in the face of a common, unseen enemy. Humans were uniting, not because they had to, but because they chose to. Commander Reth could not hide his admiration. He had predicted chaos. He had predicted failure. Instead, he saw cooperation, courage, and relentless creativity. The humans were becoming what the ancient archives had warned, a force beyond imagination. And yet, they remained unaware of the true scale of their awakening. The first exploratory fleet prepared to leave Earth's orbit. Small ships, patched together from human ingenuity and old technology, launched into the unknown. They were explorers, not conquerors, curious and daring. They carried no weapons of mass destruction, only sensors, probes, and hope. Reth transmitted a message secretly to the Council. They are awake. They are united. They are rising. The Council remained silent. Fear, deep and ancient, filled their minds. They had tried to predict the humans. They had tried to control the outcome. And yet, humanity had already rewritten the rules. On Earth, the people looked to the stars with wonder. They dreamed of distant worlds, of exploration, of the unknown. They did not know that the galaxy had been guarding them. Not for kindness, not for mercy, but because the galaxy feared what humans could become. Now humans were awake. They were alert. They were learning. Commander Reth smiled faintly, a rare expression for a Varkan officer. The galaxy is about to change, he whispered, and humans will decide how. For the first time in centuries, Earth was not just a planet under watch. It had become a planet on the rise, and the galaxy held its breath. The galaxy had been watching Earth for centuries. Hidden observers, silent guardians, and ancient machines had tracked humans since their first steps into civilization. Yet, the reason for their protection remained a secret, until now. Commander Reth received a summons from the High Council of the Galaxy. This time, it was not a routine briefing. The Council, normally calm and emotionless, radiated tension, fear, respect, something Reth had never seen before. You wish to know the truth about Earth, the oldest council member said, its voice echoing like metal over water. It is time. Reth leaned forward. I already know they are dangerous, but why guard them? Why the secrecy? The council's glow dimmed. Long ago, there was a species similar to humans. Small, chaotic, creative. They were underestimated, and they destroyed half the galaxy. Entire civilizations vanished. Stars went dark. The memory of their destruction still haunts us. Reth swallowed. And humans are like them? Yes, another council member whispered. But stronger, faster, more unpredictable. Their aggression is matched by intelligence. Their creativity rivals the oldest species. And their will, it is unstoppable when united. The chamber fell silent. Even Reth felt the weight of the truth pressing down on him. Humans were not merely a species to observe. They were a potential force capable of reshaping the galaxy, for better or worse. The council continued. We did not protect them out of kindness. We did not nurture them. We acted to contain their potential, and to allow them to grow safely. If humans had been destroyed too early, the galaxy might have faced chaos beyond imagination. If they had awakened too soon, the galaxy might not survive. Reth's mind raced. All the puzzles fell into place. The strange defense stations, the silent interventions, the containment protocols. Humans have been guarded like a wildfire, watched and measured, given time to awaken without burning the galaxy. You speak as if they are a threat, Reth said, but they survived the Cypher attack. They adapted. They learned. They are awake now. The Council's lights flickered like shadows of doubt. Yes, they are awake, and that is terrifying. The humans have exceeded all predictions. Their rise was not meant to happen so quickly. Their ingenuity, their unity, their unpredictable courage, it is beyond control. We hoped they would take centuries to reach this level. Instead, they do it in decades. Reth leaned back. Then, the galaxy fears them because humans are strong. But not just strong, they are free, unbound, and no one can stop them now. The Council remained silent. The weight of millennia hung heavy in the chamber. We can no longer control the outcome, the eldest member admitted. We can only hope they choose wisely. For if they do not, the galaxy may face a reckoning it cannot survive. Reth understood now why Earth had been protected, not because humans were weak, but because they were too dangerous to lose too soon, too unpredictable, too brilliant. And the terrifying truth? The humans themselves did not yet understand the magnitude of their potential. As Reth left the chamber, he looked back at the stars. Earth glowed faintly in the distance, a small blue world, quiet, peaceful, ordinary. Yet beneath its calm surface, a storm of potential was growing, powerful, unpredictable, unstoppable. For centuries, the galaxy had guarded Earth in fear. Now it would have to watch and wait. Reth whispered to himself. Humans are the wild card of the galaxy. And soon, everyone will know it. The galaxy had always been careful with Earth. Ancient guardians watched from shadows. Alien fleets avoided its system. High councils whispered in fear. But now, everything had changed. Humans had awakened. They had survived attacks, adapted, and learned. They had unified despite centuries of petty wars and divisions. And most terrifying of all, they were choosing their own path. Commander Reth watched silently as Earth's first exploratory fleet prepared for interstellar travel. Ships constructed from human ingenuity and old technology launched into the unknown. They carried sensors, tools, and hopes, but no weapons of mass destruction. Their mission was discovery, not conquest. The Guardians had expected chaos. They had expected destruction. They had never expected choice. As humans reached other star systems, they did not enslave. They did not conquer. They helped. Planets ravaged by war or natural disasters were aided. Species on the brink of extinction received supplies, technology, and guidance. Humans were protectors, not predators. The galaxy watched in awe and fear. Alien species that had once feared the humans' potential now face a reality far beyond predictions. The Guardians who had quietly observed Earth for centuries felt a strange new sensation, relief and imprisonment. They were no longer in control. They could only follow, learn, and adapt to what humans chose to do. Commander Reth reported to the High Council. They are exceeding all expectations, not with weapons, but with wisdom and courage. They are rewriting the rules of interaction, of morality, of power itself. The Council murmured. No being dared contradict him. The humans were no longer merely a species to guard. They were a force that even the galaxy had to reckon with. Reth thought back to the Cypher attack. Humans had survived against impossible odds. They had adapted instantly. Now, their actions proved something even more powerful. They were capable of understanding responsibility with power. They did not destroy. They uplifted. They became guardians themselves. Every world they helped, every species they protected, spread their influence quietly. The galaxy began to shift, not under force, but under example. Humanity's rise inspired fear and hope alike. Even the most powerful empires realized that humans were different. They were not just another competitor. And yet, the Guardians were trapped. Ancient machines, fleets, and even council members had no control. All their predictions failed. All their plans were irrelevant. Humans had become the center of the galaxy's future, not as conquerors, but as leaders of choice. Reth watched Earth's orbit one last time before leaving for a distant outpost. He whispered, almost to himself, "The galaxy protected them out of fear, and now, even the Guardians are prisoners of their own creation." He looked at the stars, remembering the simulations, the archives, the warnings. Humans were not only awake, they were awake in a way that no one could predict it. On Earth, people continued their lives, unaware of the way of their actions. But across space, every being that had once watched silently now understood. Humans were a species to respect, to fear, and perhaps to follow. The galaxy had once guarded Earth in terror. Now, it would learn from humans, or perish trying. Commander Reth smiled faintly. Humans had surpassed the very beings who had once decided their fate. And for the first time in history, the galaxy had no one to control the wild card. The galaxy had survived countless wars, empires rising and falling, and species striving for dominance. Yet, nothing had prepared it for humans. Earth was no longer a planet under silent protection. Humans had awakened, unified, and surpassed every expectation. They had survived impossible attacks, adapted faster than predicted, and, most importantly, chosen a path that no alien species could have anticipated. Commander Reth observed from orbit as the first human-led fleet ventured beyond the solar system. Ships glided smoothly through space, sleek and efficient. Each vessel carried scientists, explorers, and diplomats. Weapons were minimal, for humans had learned the greatest power was knowledge and unity, not sheer destruction. Other species watched in awe. The same empires that had once feared humans now waited uncertain as Earth's emissaries reached distant worlds. Humans offered help to worlds devastated by war, shared technology with struggling planets, and mediated disputes between rival systems. They did not conquer. They did not enslave. They protected. The galaxy realized that Earth's inhabitants had not only survived, they had become leaders by example. The High Council convened again, not to decide Earth's fate, but to witness it. They had once feared humans, guarded them, and secretly studied them for centuries. Now, they had no choice but to acknowledge that humans were the galaxy's new guardians. Reth turned to the council and said quietly, "The species we once contained now contains the galaxy. They protect, they learn, and they teach. And there is nothing we can do but follow their lead or be left behind." A council member, its glow dim and flickering with awe, whispered, "They have surpassed us, not with weapons, but with wisdom, courage, and choice." On Earth, people looked to the stars with curiosity, wonder, and hope. They did not yet understand the full magnitude of their impact. They had been tested, observed, and guided by unseen forces. And now, they were ready to shape the future of countless worlds. Reth watched as humans intervened in conflicts, saved civilizations from extinction, and shared knowledge freely. He realized that the galaxy's greatest fear, the humans' unpredictable potential, had become its greatest hope. Humans were not tyrants. They were protectors, innovators, and leaders. In orbit above the planet, Reth sent a message to the Council. The galaxy once guarded Earth in fear. Now it sleeps in peace because humans are awake. And for the first time in history, the galaxy breathed easy. Earth, small and seemingly fragile, had risen to become the heart of a new era. Humans had proven that intelligence, courage, and unity were stronger than any weapon. They had become the wild card of the galaxy, not through violence or domination, but through choice, innovation, and the unyielding will to survive and protect. The Council's old archives, once filled with warnings and fear, now stood silent. The humans had rewritten the story of the galaxy. No ancient predictions, no simulations, no strategy could have captured the brilliance of this species. Commander Reth gazed at the blue planet below, proud and awed. The humans had taken the mantle of guardianship, and the galaxy, once afraid of them, now depended on them. From a quiet corner of space, the stars seemed to shine brighter, not from the light of distant suns, but from the promise of a species that had risen from obscurity to become the galaxy's greatest hope. The galaxy had once feared humanity. Now, it looked to them for guidance. And in that moment, Earth was no longer just a planet. It was the home of the last hope. End of Part 8. Complete HFY Sci-Fi story.